after the initial leaks of Chapter 1152 dropped, fresh and even more surprising spoilers began to surface, revealing unexpected layers from both the past and present. This only ramped up the hype and anticipation among fans waiting for the full chapter release. One of the biggest reveals is a flashback set 14 years ago, showing Shanks relaxing alongside Scopper Gaban. During their conversation, Shanks talks about his dream of forming a pirate crew with Buggy, only for circumstances to prevent it. Gaban responds with a mysterious and intriguing line, "Because you're the chosen boy," hinting that Shanks' fate is far beyond that of an ordinary pirate. Even more fascinating, the leaks mention a strange tattoo or mark on Shanks' arm, remarkably similar to the Abyss mark recently seen on Summers' arm, and possibly connected to the Holy Knight's insignia. However, the leaker wisely cautions fans to be patient, suggesting the image might be misleading or misinterpreted. This opens the door to many theories about Shanks' true identity and his pivotal role in the future conflict. On a lighter yet tense note, the leaks also highlight the presence of Conqueror's Haki among the Straw Hat crew. During a chat with Gaban, Sanji confidently insists, "It's me. Right? It has to be me," only for Gaban to unexpectedly point at Zoro as the real user. Sanji's persistence leads to a comedic interruption by Loki, adding a humorous twist. Meanwhile, Zoro looks shocked to learn he's been unconsciously emitting Conqueror's Haki, while Luffy stands beside him, chuckling, "You've always been leaking it without realizing." Amid these tensions and comedic moments, the focus shifts to current events. Zoro and Sanji are shown heading towards the Land of the Sun, where Imu-sama and the Holy Knights reside. Meanwhile, Luffy, Gaban, Loki, and Hyogoro remain in the underworld. This signals Oda's plan to split the battles in a rising crescendo, starting with Zoro and Sanji facing the first wave of enemies, followed by Luffy's group arriving in a heroic rescue. The upcoming fight promises to be legendary, a clash of will, power, and destiny that will unveil hidden secrets poised to reshape our entire understanding of the One Piece world. Now, let's dive into one of the most intriguing mysteries revealed in the chapter, the mark on Shanks' arm and how he came to have it despite spending most of his life aboard Roger's ship. According to Shamrock, Shanks only went to the Marijois after Roger's death. By then, he was already an experienced pirate, fully aware of the world government's true nature and history. It wouldn't make sense for a seasoned rebel like him to willingly accept a mark that essentially brands him as a subordinate to the very organization he opposes, both ideologically and practically. The most logical explanation is that this mark wasn't voluntarily placed on Shanks as an adult, but rather when he was an infant, specifically the moment Roger found him inside that mysterious box in the Goa Valley. Supporting this theory is the scene where Garling and the Holy Knights appear in Goa Valley. It's highly likely they didn't arrive by Navy ships, but through the world government's special magic circle teleportation method. If Garling used that circle, it stands to reason he brought with him his twin sons, Shanks and Shamrock, hidden inside those boxes to protect them or conceal their identities from enemies. This theory is further strengthened by Summer's statement about the kidnapped giant children taken to Mariéjois. He explains that these children cannot be transported via the magic circle because they don't bear the mark. This proves that to be teleported this way, one must carry the mark tattooed on their body. Therefore, it makes perfect sense that Garling tattooed his twin sons with this mark at a very young age so they could be transported to Mariéjois alongside him. But fate had other plans. One of those twins, Shanks, ended up in Roger's hands, likely without anyone ever knowing his true lineage. This mark remained on Shanks' body all his life until the day he sacrificed his arm to save Luffy from a Sea King. Undoubtedly, Shanks could have killed the beast without injury, but he chose to lose his arm, symbolically cutting the last thread tying him to Mariéjois and its dark past, finally freeing himself from that burden forever. Now, we arrive at the chapter's most pivotal moment, Loki's complete exoneration from the charge of patricide. The flashback reveals a crucial scene where Loki confronts his father, King Harold, at the castle, demanding to know why he allied himself with the world government, especially when the very same government was responsible for killing Rox D. Zebek. Loki's words carry deep meaning. His reproach isn't just about a simple political decision. It points to a broken bond, a betrayal of shared principles, or a common past. This implies that King Harold wasn't merely a puppet king serving the world government. At some point, he was likely a friend, ally, or even a supporter of Rock's. Otherwise, Loki wouldn't express such shock and disappointment toward his father's actions. This flashback does more than clear Loki's name. It reshapes our understanding of the complex ties between the Elbaf kings and the world's leaders. It pulls back the curtain on a tangled web of alliances and betrayals that go far beyond the traditional portrayal of the kings and the legendary pirate Rox. In this scene, Loki reveals his true intentions and his frustration with his father's contradictions, framing him as a young leader relentlessly seeking truth and standing against political manipulation, even if it means opposing his own father. Now I see two main possibilities that explain the nature of the relationship between Rox Dizabek and King Harold. The first is that Harold may have been a member of Rox's crew in the past, which would explain the strong bond between them and Loki's anger over his father's alliance with the world government, the very same organization that killed their captain. This scenario places Harold closer to Rox, not just as a king, but as a fellow adventurer and warrior against injustice. It also supports the idea that ancient alliances once existed between giants and powerful pirates before the splits and conflicts that followed. The second possibility is that Elbaf, the land of the giants, was directly under Rox Dizabek's protection, much like it is now under Shanks. This suggests a symbolic or protective relationship Rox had with the giants, which makes sense considering Rox's legendary status in the pirate world. Strong pirates often have islands or territories under their control or guardianship. There's also a third, more speculative and admittedly less likely theory that Rox Dizabek himself might have been of giant lineage, with Elbaf as his homeland. This could explain his immense influence and deep ties there. While evidence for this is scarce, it's an intriguing idea that opens up many questions about Rox's true origins, his alliances, and his impact on giant history.